take questions. If we can answer them, we'll be glad to do so. Everybody ready?
Good morning. This morning we're here to provide you, my name is Chief John Madden, Burr Ridge Police Department. We're here to provide you with more details this time from last night of the tragic occurrence that occurred in Burr Ridge here at 15 West 475 South Frontage. As Deputy Chief Loftus said, we're here with Sheriff James Mendrick, DuPage County Sheriff, Sergeant Robert Wish, who's Detective Sergeant with the Burr Ridge Police Department, and my Press Information Officer, Deputy Chief Mark Loftus. Deputy Chief Loftus will walk you through, give you a detailed, give you much more information than I was able to give you last night. Deputy Chief Loftus.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning. Yesterday, March 22nd at 3:01 p.m., Burr Ridge officers received a call of shots fired at 16 West 475 South Frontage Road, Suite 233, Winners Freight, WINNER''S Freight, a logistics company. We learned upon responding to the scene that there was a second shooting at a suite below at another freight company, and subsequently learned that Jerome Spicer, 31 years of age, of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, was the alleged shooter, and he had fled the scene. Spicer went to 3 businesses that day. The first Winners Freight he worked for about a week, was about to be released and had a dispute over pay and property, and shot his boss, Nikola Misovic, 30 years of age, of Willowbrook, Illinois. Nikola was taken to Hinsdale Hospital. He died as a result of his injuries. After shooting Nikola, Spicer went to another office in the building and shot a 31-year-old female employee. She was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital, where she underwent surgery. She's in the ICU, and she's in stable condition at this time. Spicer went to a third logistics company at a building across the way and asked if the owner was in. He was told he wasn't in, and he left the scene without further incident. Spicer walked approximately a mile from the scene and holed up in a bathroom in another business. He asked the company there if he could come in and use the restroom, and they let him. In the same time, officers are setting up a perimeter surrounding the area. A large contingent of surrounding agencies responded to help us, and we locked it down pretty well while Spicer was holed up in this building at 7940 Madison Avenue. After approximately 20 minutes, the employees at the business he was in got suspicious and basically told Spicer to leave. They were closing for the day. When Spicer left, they called the police, and officers quickly responded. Upon arrival, the first officer on the scene pulled up. Spicer was sitting in front of a business at 7926 Madison Avenue. When the first officer arrived, Spicer turned his gun on himself and shot himself. A Glock 40 caliber handgun was recovered with Spicer. He was staying at the La Quinta Inn in Willowbrook while working for Winners Freight. A warrant was executed on his room. An empty holster was recovered. There were initial unconfirmed reports that Spicer was shot by a responding police officer. This is not true. No shots were fired by any police officer that responded to this incident. Several surrounding agencies responded to assist and were beneficial in keeping Spicer within the perimeter. Investigators from the Metropolitan Emergency Response and Investigations Team, MERIT, responded, as well as the Canine Response Team, Crime Scenes Forensics Investigative Unit, and the Public Integrity Team. At this time, I would like to send the condolences to Nicholas and his family on behalf of Mayor Grasso. This tragic loss of life did not have to happen. It's an unfortunate occurrence with workplace violence, and again, we send our deepest regards to the families. At this time, I turn it over to Sheriff Mendrick.
Hello, my name is Sheriff Mendrick, DuPage County Sheriff. I just want to commend the professionalism and the hard work of DuPage Merit. John Madden and I were part of, about 3 years ago, creating Merit, which combines together all the resources of DuPage County emergency response tools and teams. Yesterday was a Merit activation. There were 4 active crime scenes. That is a very massive amount of work, requires a lot of police presence. Merit took that mantle and achieved all their goals very professionally, a professional, solid investigation, prevented any harm to anybody else in society. I just want to let you know that what we do by ourselves is paled in comparison to what we do as a team. We have combined all 36 police chiefs in the sheriff's office into one cohesive metropolitan response investigative team that will keep DuPage County safe even in the largest of incidents. So again, I just want to commend all of the members of Merit and another good job.
Any questions regarding this incident?
What is Spicer's connection to the female victim? Was she a former employer as well?
Yes, there were 3 logistics companies involved, and they're all within that office park, and he worked for each of them. Now, the first one where Nicola was shot is his most recent employer. He worked for them for about a week. The second one where he went and shot the female, he worked for them prior to that, and then the third one, he worked for them even prior to that.
Have you been let go of the previous 2 companies as well?
I don't know about the previous 2. This one in particular, he worked for them for 1 week. He delivered 1 load. There was a disagreement about whether he wanted to do another one, so the company was going to fire him, and that was the status at the time.
Do you believe that's his motive?
I don't know.
We have, well, there were witness reports that prior to the shooting, he may have been yelling ethnic slurs against Serbians in the hallways. Have you heard anything about that? I understand the companies in the building may be Serbian owned.
I hadn't heard that, so I can't confirm that.
Also, do you know how long it took for the ambulance to arrive? Because again, there's a report about it taking 35 minutes.
For who?
First ambulance to arrive for Nicola Mitrovic.
No, there was an immediate response.
It was.
Yes.
Does Spicer have any criminal background?
We know of 1 arrest, conviction out of Arkansas for domestic battery.
Have you been able to speak with the female victim?
Yeah, Merit investigators did speak with the female prior to her initial surgery the day of the shooting.
Was she able to provide any information on what happened and any relationship between herself and the shooter?
She stated that she knew him as a previous employee of the company.
So she was the owner of that company or his boss, direct boss?
She worked there.
She worked.
And again, just to confirm, Jeremy Spicer did not have a permanent address here in the area. He was living in a hotel.
Yes, at the La Quinta Inn.
Do you know how long he'd been staying there? 'Cause it sounds like he'd been working for these companies.
He'd been at the La Quinta this time for about a week, but normally he's a over-the-road trucker. So his permanent address, his last known address is the Pine Bluff address that we have.
Did he make the connection and work for each of these companies just because of their locations? So he worked for one and then lost his job, went to the other, and went to the other?
Yes.
Did he have a permit for his handgun, either an FOID in Illinois or a permit out of Arkansas?
He didn't have anything in Illinois. We haven't determined yet what the requirements are in Arkansas. We're working with the ATF now to do a trace on the firearm that we recovered. And then after that, it'll be sent to the crime lab for any connection to the 2 shootings.
What can you tell us about his background? Criminal background?
He had 1 felony, or 1 domestic violence arrest out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
And you did
1
say
conviction.
the last known address for Mitrovic is Willowbrook?
Yes.
Is there anything you could say to maybe logistics company business owners about, they might be in a tough situation, hiring people like this kind of off the street? Are there processes that you would recommend moving forward? So I know it's hard to plan for something horrible like this, but what is your advice, and do you have anything to say to those business owners that have businesses in the area?
It's a tough time for everybody to hire employees. I'm sure it's very difficult for them as well to hire people that are willing to travel over the road and drive, and in a rush to get good employees. I would suggest, just like any other employer, do your homework, do a background on anybody you're willing to hire. I don't know that that would have done anything in this instance, but it's certainly a process that everybody should take when they're looking to hire somebody. All right.
You say that when the arriving officer got there and the turned gun on himself, was there any amount of time elapsed? Did it happen if there was any confrontation at all?
From what I understand, the initial officer pulled up, saw Spicer. Spicer moved his hand, so the officer went behind his car for cover. While he was going behind the car for cover, he heard a shot, looked over, and Spicer was dead. So, thank you very much. Be available over here if anybody has any other questions.
Thank you.